No, I feel a champion, no matter what.
Saw him get forced back. That's not normal for a fight with Canelo Alvarez.
Hungry for it. I think Canelo has already done so much, has made so much money that he's not hungry anymore.
Hey, listen, like I said before, it's going to be excuses behind every victory that I've done.
And people don't realize that he's been boiling himself down all these years and still being successful, not having to do that.
Canelo Alvarez explodes with fury over the fight decision against Terence Crawford, leaving the boxing world in shock. However, an emotional Canelo Alvarez was seen speaking with his wife in the aftermath of his defeat to Terence Crawford. The moment captured the raw emotions of a champion coming to terms with a tough loss in one of the biggest stages of his career. But Canelo affirmed that despite the setback, he remains a champion, insisting that nothing can erase the incredible legacy he has built. He said he accepts the loss and everything that comes with it, but made it clear he has not given up and will continue his journey in the sport.
No, I feel a champion, no matter what. You know, I win no matter what, and I still feel a champion. So it is what it is. You need to take the loss and accept everything. But I'm gonna continue. You know what? Sometimes you try and your body cannot go, right? That's my frustration. Maybe I can figure out Crawford, but my body cannot go anymore. So I try it, but my body just not let me go. And you need to accept it. That's it.
Moreover, Canelo added that the fight was a great night for boxing and for the sport as a whole. He said that as a Mexican, he takes pride in everything he has accomplished for his people in his country, calling it a proud moment and a memorable night for boxing.
Fue una gran noche para el boxeo. Me siento muy orgulloso de lo que se logró hoy. Como mexicano me siento muy orgulloso de lo que he logrado, de hasta donde he llegado para representar a mi país. Me siento muy orgulloso. Fue una gran noche para el boxeo.
A great night for boxing, a great night for the sport, for everyone. And as a Mexican, everything that I have accomplished for my people, for the country, very proud.
On the other hand, Roy Jones Jr. praised Crawford's performance, describing it as a beautiful discipline, exactly the kind of fight he had expected. He also gave credit to Canelo, noting that he has carried the sport for the past 15 years and now has the freedom to choose his own path, whether that means retirement or continuing his career.
He boxed a beautiful performance, a beautiful night, kind of like I thought it would be. Took a page out of Eric Sunday Law's book and made it work for himself. That's what Canelo wanted to do. Canelo been carrying boxing for the last 15 years. He deserves to do anything he wants to do. That's all. He can do whatever he wants to do. He's been dominating for a long time too, so he can do whatever he wants to do. I would like to see him retire because it'd be hard for anybody to top that, and they definitely put him on the top 5 list, and he'd be able to stay there because he hasn't been beaten.
Likewise, Dmitry Bivol praised the magnitude of the event, calling it a great fight between two legendary fighters that showcased great boxing. He congratulated Terence Crawford and wrote an X stating, "It was a great fight between two legendary fighters. Technique, skill, IQ, and power. Congratulations to Terence Crawford on a well-earned victory. You deserve this." Similarly, Ryan Garcia also took to X to praise Terence Crawford, saying Crawford has proved himself. Garcia wrote, "Crawford has proved it. He's arguably one of the best to ever lace in gloves." Following up in his initial post, Ryan added, "I actually believe Crawford may be the best fighter of all time." At the same time, Ryan also showed support for Canelo Alvarez, saying Canelo will always be an inspiration and a legend. He stated, "Canelo will forever be an inspiration to not only me, but so many other people. I love you, man. You're a legend in victory and defeat." Meanwhile, Andre Ward praised Terence Crawford's performance, noting that he has delivered at this level throughout his career. Ward acknowledged the danger Crawford faced against Canelo Alvarez and said he needed to fight at his absolute best to win. He emphasized that doing so at the age of 37 only cemented Crawford's status as the greatest fighter of this generation.
Terence Crawford is a great performance, man. He's been doing this throughout the course of his career. The stakes were a lot different in this fight, a lot more danger. he had to fight that kind of fight in order to beat Canelo Alvarez tonight, and he did that at 37, but getting ready to be 38 years old. And he proved, like Max said, that he is the GOAT of this generation. Hats off to Canelo for taking the fight. He didn't have to take it. Hats off to Turkey Al-Sheikh for putting it together. Just a great night for boxing.
Furthermore, Ward emphasized that size was not a major factor in the fight, pointing out that while there were moments where it showed, it was never significant enough to disadvantage Crawford. He described Terence as a strong fighter with a wrestling background, capable of holding his own against bigger and stronger opponents. Ward highlighted that Crawford had spent years cutting weight to compete at 147, and now, at a higher weight, he finally earned the full respect he deserves.
Nice disadvantage there. How special? You can see it in spots, but it wasn't significant. And I didn't think it was going to be significant. And people call me crazy, but I've been around Terence. He's strong. He's got a wrestling background, and people don't realize that he's been boiling himself down all these years and still being successful, not having to do that. His condition seemed impeccable, and his strength was there, the power was there enough to get respect from Canelo. So what more can I say?
In addition, Dan Rafael praised Crawford for delivering a great performance, though he admitted he felt the fight was closer than many believed. He noted that Canelo appeared to be ahead in the early rounds, but Crawford did an outstanding job closing strong to secure the win. Rafael also observed that there was no real size disparity between the two, as they looked very similar in the ring. He added that Crawford deserves full credit for successfully making history with this victory.
I thought he did a great job. I thought it was close. I had Canelo ahead in the early going, but I thought Crawford did an amazing job closing that fight down in the last few rounds, where he really started to back the supposed bigger guy up, although for me, they looked about the same size. But that was a brilliant performance, and what can you say? I mean, you got to give him his credit. He created a lot of history. He dreamt this fight. He willed it to happen. A lot of people, not me, but a lot of people laughed at him, said forget about it, no chance against a bigger guy like that. But he showed his greatness.
Moreover, Dan added that it appeared to take Crawford a little time to realize Canelo did not hit as hard as many had suggested. Once Crawford recognized he could absorb the shots, he began countering with his own combinations, pressing forward and even going toe-to-toe with Canelo.
I think it took him a little while to figure out that, you know what, he doesn't hit as hard as some people were saying, and that I can get in and out, and I'm going to be able to stalk him and walk him down a little bit. And he had Canelo extremely frustrated, and so I guess I was a little surprised he was able to do it, especially in those last couple of rounds. But he definitely was the guy that was going forward and back in. I mean, I've been watching Canelo for his entire career as a known fighter. This is my 24th Canelo Alvarez fight in person. I can't say that against anybody, including big punchers like Triple G and Kovalev and people like that saw him get forced back. That's not normal for a fight with Canelo.
At the same time, Terence Crawford stated that no matter what he achieves, there will always be people making excuses to discredit his victories. He said that is the price to pay when you are a skilled, talented, and hardworking fighter. Crawford added that when you're ahead of the competition, instead of giving respect, people look for reasons to diminish your success.
And you beat him.
Hey, listen, like I said before, it's going to be excuses behind every victory that I've done. You know, that's what happened when you're great and when you so much ahead of the competition that they don't respect you. They think that you fighting nobodies. They think that the people that you fighting, you know, is not worthy enough. You know, a lot of fans, they don't respect these fighters. These fighters go in there, put their lives on the line, and you know, put their heart and soul in the ring and display it. And you got to win the championship rounds. You know, especially being that he was the champion. I knew going into the championship rounds that I was had to close out the show.
Building on that, Adam Catterall was furious with the scoring, calling it diabolical. He argued that at best the fight could have been seen at 8-4, but even that was generous, and a 7-5 scoreline was completely unrealistic. While he agreed the right man won, he felt the judging was unfair and suggested the officials tried to edge the fight in Canelo's favor. Gareth A. Davies added that everyone knew Crawford had taken control, pointing out how the crowd went silent after the 8th round.
People were saying 10-2, 9-3. I've got it 9-3.
The scoring was diabolical. The best, absolute best case scenario is
8-4.
Is that 8-4.
Yeah.
And even that didn't happen. 7-5 absolutely didn't happen. The judging, as I've said, and this winds me up. I know that the right man's won, so I should just be in a celebratory mode.
Yeah.
But I said, in the predictions, Crawford will win this fight, but Canelo will get the decision, and they tried.
No, but it's by the by now because it's a unanimous points decision, Victor. Everybody here knows he won. Everybody, you felt the arena go quiet for Canelo from round 8 onwards, and you felt the noise for the Crawford supporters in there. There will always be problems with judging. There's always weird judging in Las Vegas.
Additionally, coach Robert Garcia stated that Crawford clearly won the majority of the rounds and fully deserved the victory. He questioned how one of the judges at the fight scored so close, saying the outcome was obvious in Crawford's favor. Garcia added that he had picked Crawford to win by decision because Crawford was still hungry, whereas Canelo had already achieved so much that the same drive was no longer there.
I think Crawford won 9, maybe 10 rounds out of the whole 12 rounds. One judge had it very close. I don't know why. I think Crawford clearly won. Right before the show started, I did the show we do with Boxing Scene, and at the end they told me, you have to say something. I said Crawford by decision, because the reason is because Crawford is hungry to make history, to become a legend. Canelo has already accomplished too much, has already done too much, and he wasn't, I don't see that hunger.
Furthermore, Robert criticized Canelo for fighting flat-footed and throwing single punches instead of showing the urgency needed to win. He pointed out that Canelo no longer has the same speed, which is why he had predicted Crawford would take the fight by decision.
Him anymore, I don't see that those changes anymore. He fights flat-footed, throws one punch at a time. He's not fast anymore, and that's why I picked Crawford by decision. I think Crawford is very talented, and Crawford is hungry to become a legend. He wanted to become that three-division undisputed. He wanted to make history by going up 2 divisions to beat Canelo, one of the greatest of all time. So he was hungry for it. I think Canelo has already done so much, has made so much money that he's not.
Adding to that, Carl Froch stated that nothing can take away Crawford's victory as he completely dismantled Canelo Alvarez.
And he's just finished it off in the 168-pound weight division, the Cobras division, super middleweight, by, for me, absolutely, I don't want to say outclassed, but he just destroyed Canelo Alvarez in there tonight. Listen, it was a whooping, let's be honest.
However, he compared the fight to a chess match, explaining that from the opening bell, Crawford worked off the back, dominated with his jab, and pieced together sharp combinations. Froch concluded that Terence Crawford was in complete control throughout the entire contest.
It was relaxed, but as soon as these two guys got in there, it was a bit of a chess match. So that didn't really follow on from the crowd vibe. It was nip-tuck from the start, but Terence Crawford was on his back foot, kind of dominating behind his jab, putting little combinations together. Terence Crawford was really, from the off, right until the very end, in control of this fight. Now, the scorecard might not say it was a one-sided whooping, and I don't want to say that Canelo Alvarez got whooped, because he don't get whooped, does he? But in terms of a performance from Terence Crawford, landing with a jab, combination punches on the back foot, sort of dictating the pace, and then after about round 6 or 7, Canelo Alvarez knew, 1 second.
Additionally, Paulie Malignaggi remarked that while the fight itself was not the most thrilling, it was all about Terence Crawford and what he achieved in the night. He highlighted that Crawford became the first male boxer in history to be an undisputed world champion in 4-belt era across 3 different weight classes. Malignaggi praised not only how Crawford won, but also the class and respect he displayed both before and after the fight.
A lot to unpack on an amazing performance by Terence Crawford. Wasn't the most exciting fight, but really it was about Bud Crawford. It was about what he accomplished tonight, and it was about, becoming the first undisputed world champion in the 4-belt era in 3 different weight classes. Really, and the way he did it, and the class that he showed all throughout the preparation, and just flawless. I mean, Terence Crawford has had an amazing career against a lot of very good fighters and world-class fighters, and honestly has barely lost a round. When you look.
Moreover, Paulie praised Crawford's boxing skills, noting that he consistently avoided taking clean shots from Canelo.
First, Crawford really boxed very, very well, very, very intelligently. The question mark was what happens when Crawford gets hit cleanly. I'm not sure he got hit cleanly the whole fight. You know, he got hit with some partial shots. Some shots landed cleanly, but by the time Canelo started landing anything cleanly, I think he was hesitant because he was getting countered so much that he was taking some of the steam off the shots in order to hope to be more accurate. Because even late in the fight, there were a couple of shots that Canelo landed, but they barely moved Crawford, you know. There were some good body shots Canelo was throwing, but Crawford started countering those very, very well. I think the key point started coming once after the first round. Crawford shifted a lot and moved a lot. I wanted to just kind of see where Canelo's power was at. He caught a couple of shots on the glove.
He added that by later rounds, Crawford was taking some power off his punches to focus on accuracy, while the few shots Canelo did manage to land barely had any effect.
And I think there came a point in the first 1 or 2 rounds where Crawford said, this guy's not as strong as I thought. Because you started seeing Crawford hold his ground more and more. And you started seeing Crawford, you know, doing a lot of catching and shooting. And in order to do a lot of catching and shooting, you got to be willing to take the shot, even if you're going to block it. If a guy's a big puncher, even blocking it can be uncomfortable. And Crawford started getting comfortable catching and shooting, especially when Canelo tried to go to the body. Crawford was catching the shots and coming back with the counters. Sharp shots. Crawford never loaded up, but he was sharp the whole night. Sharp with the jab, sharp with the counters, some well-placed body shots.
Building on that, Claressa Shields said she already had made it clear where her support stood, explaining that she always believed facing Canelo would be a huge challenge for Crawford, but that skills pay the bills. She stressed that size does not win fights and expressed full confidence in Crawford pulling it off, declaring that Terence Crawford is simply unbeatable.
I told everybody earlier, don't ask me who I got winning. I'm going with Team Crawford. I knew tonight was a big tag going against Canelo, but skills pay the bills. Size does not win fights. When you got skills and you got experience, listen, I knew he could do it. I saw him start boxing, let his hands go, the power shots. He took the Canelo power. I knew he could do it. I think Terence Crawford he's unbeatable, like me.
Congratulations. Please take your
when you're going against the champion, a majority of the house makes noise whenever Canelo throws a punch. I thought Crawford won unanimous, and I thought it was clear. I would say 8 rounds to 4. I thought it was a clear win. I think he was still in rounds. And it was a great fight, Canelo.
In addition, Crawford's father, Terry, expressed immense pride in his son's victory, saying he always believed Terence would beat Canelo. He admitted he had predicted the fight might end by stoppage in the 8th or 10th round, but regardless of the outcome, he was proud to see his son pull it off.
What's going on? Oh, nothing much. I'm just proud, you know, that he won. I'm proud of him, and I'm happy that he won.
Is there any surprise to you as to how he was able to perform, or you knew that?
I already knew he was going to beat Canelo Alvarez. I thought he was going to stop him in the 8th or 10th round.
Yes. Did you expect?
But I said if it goes past 10, it's going to go all the way. But he's going to win by unanimous.
Did you want more from Canelo, or is it just you knew your son was that good?
Oh, I knew my son was that good.
Terence Crawford emphasized that his victory was all part of God's plan and that he simply carried out the mission set before him. He explained that everything he had aimed for in his career, he had been able to execute it.
No, I knew I won. When the last bell were on, I knew I won, you know, but like I said before, God don't make no mistakes. And it's no mistake that, you know, I'm here for a reason. And I've been telling y'all that all week, that it's God's plan, not my plan. I just, you know, carried out his mission. Of course, you know, everything that we set our sights on to do in the fight, you know, we execute.
Crawford admitted he wanted to increase the pressure during the fight, but his corner urged him to stick with what was already working. He said discipline was key, and he focused on staying patient and continuing the approach that brought him success.
You know, I wanted to do a little more, but my coaches wanted me to keep doing what I was doing that was working. You know, so I had to make sure that I was disciplined and keep doing what was working. I don't think he was less conditioned or anything. You know, I just think I was the better man. I think you know, you're not giving him enough credit, and you're trying to take things away from him. He was 1,000% prepared. You know, I just think I was the better man today.
At the end of the night, Terence Crawford stood tall as the man who shocked the world, while Canelo Alvarez was left to swallow a bitter defeat. So let us know your thoughts and opinions in the comment sections. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next video with more exciting updates.